Alright, welcome back to Through Gamer Goggles, gamer-goggles.com. And today I'm doing another flip through on Pathfinder 2nd Edition's Lost Omens Grand Bazaar. The book retails for $34.99. It is 134 pages. And basically it's a series of inspired shops that reside in the wonderful city of Absalom, I believe. And what well, I'm going to go over everything you need to know about the Grand Bazaar, starting with the very first couple of paragraphs. What the Grand Bazaar, why are you here, and basically the Grand Bazaar is the center, the heart, the centerpiece of the coins district in Absalom. Well, before I get into what every shop beholds, let's take a look at the map and basically how to use the book. So basically Pathfinder recommends that you use the book as a small selection of shops that are found within the Grand Bazaar. And that is actually pretty key to understanding this. If you're planning on buying this book and having the entirety of the Grand Bazaar, you will probably be disappointed. There's what, I don't know, I think there's only 15, 16, maybe. There's about 20 shops. I think it tells you on the back how many shops are actually in here. No, it does not. But we'll count them up real quick. That's welcome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and it's actually not a true 24, and I'll get into that in a moment or two. So it's important to understand that it's not the entirety of the Grand Bazaar, and I think I need to do something about my lighting again. So this is the Grand Bazaar. As you can see, I do much better with my lights off, don't I? You can see it's full colors. The different locations of the shops in this book are located by the numbers. Here, I'll zoom in to help us out a little bit. They are located all over the map by the white numbers, and they go clockwise for the most part. So you get over here, you get 11, and then it comes back over to the other side and comes back. It goes the way you read. I thought it went clockwise in a circle around what I call the racetrack. You can kind of see there's a road that circles most of the Grand Bazaar, and then you've got the little outliers beyond the racetrack of different types of shops and buildings. Now with that said, every single shop is laid out pretty much the same way. You have the mentor figure or the key figure of the shop. There's a portrait of the shop owner, different types of ideas for it, and basically leads along with a picture of the building. And that's pretty much it. Every shop has 1 to 2 pages of fluff, and then the items that you'll find within. And what I find to be really, well, actually, before we move on, we're going to talk one about the fluff. So, very first one, Barghest's Bin. It's an adventurer shop. It's a shop of not salvage goods, but of things that adventurers would need when they're frequenting dungeons and things like that. So you'll have everything in it. You'll have a misdirecting haversack, a rapier, silk spinner's shield. But there are a couple of other things that are interesting in Barghest's Bin, and one of those things that I found was she recently sold a map of an unrecognized tunnel below the Westgate District, and the words of Horde remains within or on it. To me, there's little bombs like that all over this book that when the Absalom adventure path or the Absalom book comes out for the city, you can tie this book into it and create all kinds of adventures within it. Heck, you can even create adventures within the Grand Bazaar, in my opinion, with this. Now, moving on through the book, there's a ton of things in here that kind of blew me away. You have everything from runes, a rune shop, to a seamstress shop who only focuses on embroidering clothes and making them magical items. Bellwether's Lodge, for example, is basically a snare specialty shop. You have a salvage shop, salvage recovery. All kinds of neat little things like that. So Kitten Slumber, I think I already passed it. Kitten Slumber was one of my favorite ones. And basically it's for familiars. Oh no, I didn't pass it yet because this is the Clockwork Caravan. Clockwork Caravan is one of the more interesting shops in the book because it actually comes and goes. It's not one that's tied down. It kind of reminds me of that whole gypsy motif or that traveling medicine man kind of motif from early American history. And then you have the Sensory Emporium. Now, so some of the things that you'll find, though, too, within the Clockwork shop is like the Clockwork Spider, Clockwork Dog, any other types of curios that you would want to look into. Then there's the Sensory Emporium, which is, well, a feast for the senses. This was kind of neat because, for me, it's a place where you can go if you need something unique for your characters that is an ideal spot for you to give them something that's a consumable that will make their journey easier, but at the same time, if they use it at the wrong time, more difficult. And yes, I did say it that way. So you end up with things like Dragonfly Potion. Your eyes transform into those of giant dragonflies, and you get a +2 item bonus to visual perception checks, and you can't be flanked except by creatures of a higher level than you are. Kind of neat. And then, like I had said, Kitten Slumber. We're going to go hop over to Kitten Slumber real quick. Kitten Slumber, it's run by Roswan Yarndam. And he basically has a whole bunch of new familiars there. Obviously, these are not familiars that you have to limit it to. You can put all different types of things here. Like, so here's a pipe fox. He has Climber, Dark Vision, Second Opinion, which is on page 34. And Second Opinion, where is it? Since I mentioned it, your familiar is Academic Confident. Despite being a minion, your familiar gains 1 reaction at the start of its turns, which you can use only to aid you on a recall knowledge skill check. So there's a lot of new things that they've put into the book. And then they've even included an ancestry, which is the puppets, which I need to actually go back to the table of contents to find. I'm not that far off. Page 60. Puppets are kind of neat. Most of us probably are aware of what a puppet is, but that pretty much sums it up. A puppet is basically a stuffed animal or a stuffed doll. And in this case, they're a rare ancestry within Pathfinder 2nd edition. And then over here, they come in with 6 hit points. They're small. They have a speed of 25. They get a Constitution, Charisma, and 1 free ability boost, but they are not very dexterous. They lack that. They also have Dark Vision, but they suffer from a weakness to fire. Probably because most of them are made of things that are highly flammable, like straw in clothing. And then there's the Rune Room, which is one of my favorites, which I already kind of mentioned. I topped it off. The Rune Room is a shop that specializes in embroidery, in embroidering clothing. So, and maybe I'll come back to Relics and Remembrance if we have time, because that was a good one too. The Rune Room. It's run by Tengu. It looks like it's part of a ship, or was part of a ship. And he creates embroidered runes, and he puts them onto clothing mostly. You can even do it on a book. But one of the new runes is Dragon's Breath, and basically, depending on its level, determines the strength of the Dragon's Breath, and of course the type of Dragon's Breath also, along with the costs all the way up to a 9th level spell equivalent that is worth 70,000 gold pieces. For those of you that just want to give your character something crazy and abusive, there you go. And then the last one that I noticed, or not noticed, the one that I had a lot of fun with was, where is it? Absalom Ads. So Absalom Ads is a mail order shop. So they don't even have to, like, you know, have a physical location. But what they do is they send you self-help kits, basically, for lack of a better way of saying it. And they have given us three new dedication feats. So the first 2 pages are all about the shop and a little insert on how to order your things. And then the next 3 pages are, in alphabetical order, your dedication feats. We have the Captivator, which basically is a dedication feat where the focus of everything is supposed to be upon yourself. So first paragraph, or second paragraph here, says the good captivators use their gifts and skills to bring together people together. So that pretty much sums it up. They use their gifts of captivation to help people along, or if they're evil, you do exactly the opposite. You use it to manipulate people. And then we have the spell Trickster, which without a lot of depth, you know, you pretty much know what they are. They're able to cast spells, they have to be able to cast spells. They're trained in arcana, nature, or occultism, and their experience with magic and its traditions lets them specialize in casting certain spells. Some of the feats are Agile Hand, Barrier Shield, Forceful Push, which is kind of neat. When you cast Mage Hand, you can modify its target to be one creature. If you do, replace the standard effects with the following. Now, wait, where's the last one? There's about 4 pages there, and then the last one is your professional wrestler, which I think has a place within Pathfinder. It could be a lot of fun. It could be an interesting dedication for people that have chosen the gladiator background. And then in the very back, we have an equipment table listing everything that is in the book. And then we have a glossary and index, of course. And then, you know, we are going to go back to Relics and Wards because it is worth the short moment. Relics and Remembrance, page 78. So basically, Relics and Remembrance, to me, seems like a coffee shop. You go in and you meet the owner, and she tells you a story about some kind of artifact. And then most of the artifacts that she can tell you stories about she can provide you a path to. And some of them are even available in replica form to purchase, which I thought was really cool. So, what do I think about Pathfinder's Grand Bazaar? I think that this is a great appetizer for Absalom when it's released. I think it does a good job of showing people that there is flavor. I was actually quite surprised by the contents of this book. I assumed that it was going to be just a listing of shops and a map with little things about it. Instead, they give you a small amount of shops. One thing that I didn't touch upon, which was right before the Absalom ads, is the back alley shops, is they give you 1 to 2 paragraphs on about, I don't know, that's 6 pages of shops that are possible for you to explore on your own. So, like I said, I thought it was going to be a map with just a whole bunch of stores and their wares. Instead, what I find is a book full of just hidden little gems about the city of Absalom, and if you use it properly, it is going to be key for you as a GM to many larger things. From a player's side, you do have the Poppet, and you've got some new dedication feats, and potentially you have some things where you can say, hey, I want to go here, do they have this? You know, and it isn't within the city of Absalom, but also as a GM, taking that aside, you can plug and play this stuff. This stuff doesn't have to be only in the city of Absalom. You can make a franchise of it wherever you are in Galaria. Now, like I said, it really surprised me. There's a lot more to it than I thought there was going to be. The Grand Bazaar for me was just full of a whole bunch of awe and surprise. Now, with all of that said, if I was going to nitpick the book at all, the only thing I would say that I have a problem with is you don't need it. And when I say that, it's not like a core rule book or a bestiary or the advanced player's guide. The value in this book is more about building upon a game world than it is about advancing a lot of the mechanics of the book. Now, if you're a collector, it's definitely going to be a must-have. If you're a GM, I would highly recommend it. Players, I think you're going to pick and choose a little bit more as to whether or not you buy this book or one of the other books. With that also said, it's not intended to be a mechanics book. So for me to say that that's the only thing I can really nitpick on says that they did a really good job with this book. Anyway, this is about 7 minutes longer than I wanted it to be, guys. Thanks for watching and have a good day.
Hi guys, meet the Nibbles, who's gonna go down. She just decided not to go down my back, so we'll do this for her so she's comfy. Thanks for watching my video, and I appreciate it. Please hit the like button and share it if you know somebody who might be interested. And of course, there's always Twitter and the Facebook thingy, and soon I have a newsletter coming. That'll be down there or in a link below, and my kitty cat loves that idea. So anyway, there was one more thing. Oh yeah, subscribe. Be a part of my community, our community. Let's make it grow together. See you guys at a con somewhere, or a local store, or if I'm driving through the country, maybe a game club. I don't know. You're not going to go knock down my camera. Bye, guys.